Did you know the wrong eyebrow color can actually make you look older than you are? Stay tuned, because today I'm sharing exactly how to choose the perfect eyebrow color for grey hair. And trust me, the right choice will lift your face, brighten your eyes, and instantly make you look fresher and more polished. Stick around till the end, because I'll reveal the biggest grey eyebrow myth that's still fooling millions of women, and you do not want to fall for it. Alright, let's start with the obvious. When your hair turns grey, everything about your face can shift, and sometimes it happens faster than you expect. Grey hair has a way of softening your overall appearance that can be beautiful, sophisticated, and elegant. It is a part of growing older that many women are learning to embrace with pride. But here is the other side of it. That softening effect can sometimes cause your features to look a little muted or even faded. It becomes easier for your natural facial definition to get lost, especially around your eyes. One of the biggest things that frames and defines your face is your eyebrows. Even if you never paid much attention to them before, now they start to matter in a whole new way. Well-groomed, properly colored eyebrows can do wonders for your entire look. They add definition, they bring balance back to your features, and they help lift and open up your eyes. They are a subtle detail, but they have a big impact. On the other hand, the wrong brow color or no color at all can leave you looking tired, washed out, or even a little bit harsh. Dark, heavy brows can look jarring next to soft grey hair. Brows that are too light can disappear completely, making your whole face feel unfinished. That is why getting your brow color right is not just a nice to have. It is absolutely essential for keeping your look fresh, polished, and vibrant. Now that we understand why your brows matter more than ever, let's ease into how old habits with your brows might need a little updating too. Now, let's be real for a minute. Most of us grew up either plucking, penciling, or sometimes even ignoring our eyebrows without giving it much thought. Back then, it was not something we obsessed over. We followed whatever trend was popular at the time and just hoped for the best. Some of us overplucked them into tiny, thin lines because that was the style. Some of us used the same brow pencil year after year, never thinking it might need to change. Some of us just let them be and forgot they were even part of our beauty routine. But when you start embracing your beautiful silver strands, those old brow habits might not be doing you any favors anymore. The truth is, once your hair starts to turn grey, the whole picture changes. Your skin tone can shift slightly, your hair color is softer, and your features need a little more careful balancing. Holding on to the same old brow tricks from your younger years can sometimes work against you instead of helping you look your best. For example, that super dark brown pencil you used to swear by might now be way too harsh. What once made your brows look defined and bold can now make them look heavy and out of place. Instead of lifting your face, it can pull it down, making everything seem more severe than you want. And if you were part of the generation that loved the super thin brows of the 90s, you might notice that overplucked brows now make your face look even more hollow or tired. As we lose some natural fullness in our face with age, thin brows can exaggerate that loss, making cheeks look flatter and eyes look smaller. That look we once thought was edgy can now unintentionally make us look older than we feel. This is a whole new ballgame. It is not about hanging on to old habits anymore. It is about adapting in a way that still feels true to who you are, but fresh and flattering for where you are in your life today. The good news is, when you make a few small adjustments, the results can be absolutely stunning. Your brows can lift your entire face, make your eyes sparkle again, and bring that natural vibrancy right back. Now that we have talked about letting go of the old ways, it is time to move into the new. Let's dive into the simple golden rules for picking the right brow color to complement your gorgeous grey hair and bring out the very best in your features. Alright, now we are getting into the juicy stuff. This is the part that can really change the way you feel when you look in the mirror. How do you actually pick your new eyebrow color now that you are proudly rocking your beautiful greys? It is not as complicated as you might think, but it does take a little shift in mindset from what you may have been used to before. First tip is to go softer, not darker. This is one of the biggest mistakes women make when their hair turns grey. When in doubt, always lean toward a shade that is softer than your natural pre-grey hair colour, not darker. It can feel tempting to reach for those deeper, darker shades because we think they will add definition. But with grey or silver hair, darker brows can create too much contrast. Instead of looking youthful and fresh, it can actually look harsh and drag your features downward. It can make your face look more tired or angry without you even realizing it. What you want instead is a softer touch. Think about using shades like soft taupes, cool greys, muted light browns, or even an ashy blonde, depending on your skin tone and how much grey you have. These softer shades will still give your face the definition it needs, but they will blend more naturally with your lighter hair colour and create a much more flattering overall look. Now that we have covered the importance of going softer, let's move right into another key adjustment that can make a big difference. Second tip is to understand undertones. Your grey hair might look silver, pure white, or even a little bit steely, depending on the light. Paying attention to the undertone of your grey will help you pick the best brow colour. If your grey hair leans cooler, meaning it has more of a bluish or silvery tone, you will want a brow colour that also has cool undertones. Think cooler taupes or greyish browns. If your grey is warmer, leaning more toward a creamy or golden silver, then a slightly warmer taupe or soft brown might be the better match. Choosing a brow colour that matches the undertone of your hair keeps everything looking intentional and harmonious. It gives you that polished but natural look where everything flows together seamlessly instead of fighting against each other. Now that you know how to match undertones, there is another small but mighty adjustment you will want to make to your brow routine. Third tip is to go lighter with your application technique too. Even if you pick the perfect colour, how you apply it matters just as much. When you are working with grey hair, you want to use a light hand when filling in your brows. Instead of drawing harsh, heavy lines, think of it more like feathering in tiny strokes that mimic real hair. This creates a much softer, more realistic look. It helps you avoid that painted-on, overly defined appearance that can be especially aging when paired with grey hair. Softness is the goal, both in colour and in technique. Small, gentle strokes with a brow pencil or powder will make your brows look fuller without looking fake. It frames your face beautifully without overpowering your features. Once you have mastered a softer application, there is one more piece to the puzzle that really ties the whole look together. Fourth tip is to consider using a tinted brow gel. If you are lucky enough to still have a good amount of natural brow hair, but it is just lighter now, a tinted brow gel can work wonders. It adds a hint of colour, helps define the hairs you already have, and keeps everything in place without needing a heavy pencil or powder. A cool-toned or neutral-toned brow gel can help subtly darken light or wiry grey brow hairs while keeping the texture looking soft and natural. Tinted gels are especially great for days when you want a little polish but do not want to spend a lot of time on your makeup. A few swipes through the brows and you instantly look more awake and put together. Now that we have talked about tinted gels, there is another little trick you can keep in your back pocket that can really save the day. Fifth tip is to not be afraid to mix products if needed. Sometimes the perfect brow colour does not come in a single pencil or powder. If you find that one shade looks too warm and another looks too cool, try lightly layering them together. You can softly blend two colours to create a custom shade that matches your hair and skin perfectly. It sounds fuzzy, but it takes less than a minute, and the results can be beautiful. Brow powders especially blend easily and can help you find that perfect balance when one product alone is not quite right. Mixing and matching also helps if your grey hair has some variation to it, like streaks of white, silver, and darker strands. Customizing your brow colour can help it look much more natural and multidimensional, just like your gorgeous hair. Now that you know how to choose the right shades, match your undertones, apply gently, and even customize your own color, you are already way ahead of the game. Coming up next, I will share how to adjust your natural brows if they are already turning grey too. Here is a little plot twist that nobody really warns you about. As you are getting used to your beautiful grey hair, your eyebrows can start greying too. And it does not always happen in a neat, even way. Sometimes you notice a few stray silver hairs here and there. Other times it feels like overnight your entire brow has faded into near invisibility. It can be frustrating, especially when you are trying to keep your features looking defined and fresh. First things first, do not panic. This is completely normal. Just like the hair on your head, your brow hairs lose pigment as you age. It happens to almost everyone. Some women get a few silver strands mixed in with darker ones, while others notice their brows getting lighter overall and even thinning out a little bit. It is just another part of the natural aging process, and it is nothing to be embarrassed about. Now that you know it is normal, let's talk about your options for handling it in a way that keeps you looking polished and feeling confident. One option is tinting your brows. Professional brow tinting can be a great way to subtly darken your brow hairs without making them look fake or overdone. A trained professional can choose a tint that is soft and matches your grey hair beautifully. Tinting can catch those wiry silver hairs and blend them into a more cohesive colour, making your brows look fuller and more even. It usually lasts a few weeks, depending on your skin type and how often you wash your face. If you are looking for something low maintenance that still gives a big payoff, tinting might be worth considering. If tinting is not your style, or you just prefer doing things yourself, another great option is using a brow pencil or powder. This method gives you full control over how light or dark you want your brows to be. When filling in greying brows, taupe shades are truly your best friend. Taupe is one of the most versatile and natural-looking colours for greying or silver hair. It has that perfect balance of warmth and coolness without looking too heavy or too flat. When applying pencil or powder, remember to use light, feathered strokes instead of drawing solid lines. The goal is to create the illusion of real hairs, filling in any sparse or faded areas without making your brows look drawn on. Take your time and build the colour slowly until you get the fullness you want. Now that we have covered the basics of tinting and filling, here is a little pro tip that can make a huge difference in how natural your brows look. Always choose a brow product that is one shade lighter than the colour you think you need. Brow products almost always apply darker on the skin than they look in the packaging. Picking a slightly lighter shade will help your brows stay soft, airy, and believable instead of looking heavy or blocky. It might feel strange at first if you are used to darker brows, but trust me, the lighter shade will blend much better with your natural greys and your overall complexion. The ultimate goal with greying brows is simple. You want soft, full, natural-looking brows that bring structure and life back to your face without shouting for attention. You want your brows to support your beauty, not steal the show or look like something separate from the rest of your features. All right, it is time to spill a little truth tea because this one trips up so many beautiful women, even the ones who take great care of themselves. The biggest mistake women over 50 still make when it comes to their brows, especially after their hair turns grey, is thinking that going natural means doing absolutely nothing at all. It sounds innocent enough, but it can end up working against you without you even realising it. Here is the thing. Just because your hair is grey does not mean your brows should disappear or be ignored. Natural does not mean bare. Natural means enhancing what is already there in a soft, flattering way. It means bringing back a little of the definition that time tends to steal from our features. Because when the brows fade away completely, the whole face can start to lose its structure. You can look more tired, more washed out, and sometimes even a little bit older than you really are. Definition matters now more than ever. The trick is not about creating heavy, dark, drawn-on brows like we might have done back in the day. It is about giving your face a little more presence and energy with just a few light, thoughtful touches. Even just a few soft strokes with a good brow pencil, a powder, or a tinted gel can completely transform your appearance. It is incredible how something so small can lift your whole face, open up your eyes, and make you look more refreshed and vibrant. Once you understand that natural feeling that needs a little help, you can stop feeling guilty about taking that extra minute in the morning to fill in your brows. It is not about pretending to be something you are not. It is about celebrating and highlighting your beauty with just a little bit of gentle polish. Now that you know the biggest mistake to avoid, we are going to take things a step further. Because coming up next, I will show you exactly how to tweak your brow shape in a way that flatters your beautiful, maturing features even more. Little adjustments can make a huge difference, and I promise it is easier than you think. Shape plays just as big a role in how polished and youthful you look. If you want your brows to truly complement your beautiful grey hair and your changing features, paying a little attention to shape can make all the difference. As we age, it is completely natural for our faces to lose some of the volume and lift they once had. Our cheeks soften, our eyelids may droop a little, and everything starts to settle. That is just part of life, and it is nothing to feel bad about. But it also means that those high, super-arched brows that once looked so stylish in our 20s or 30s can now feel a bit too harsh. They can actually make the face look more severe or even drag the features down. What tends to work better with grey hair and mature features are softer, more balanced brows. The first thing to think about is softening your arch. Instead of aiming for a dramatic, sharp angle, go for a gentle, subtle curve. A softer arch lifts the eyes in a more natural, flattering way without making you look surprised or overly intense. Another little tweak that works wonders is slightly thickening your brows. You do not need to go crazy or paint on big, bold brows, but adding a little fullness brings back that youthful energy. Fuller brows make the face look healthier and fresher. Thin, overplucked brows can age you faster than almost anything else. If you already have thinner brows, just softly feathering in a bit more width with your pencil or powder can make a huge difference without looking obvious. Something else that often gets overlooked is the tail of your brow. Extending your brow tails just a little longer can help balance your features beautifully. As we get older, the outer corners of the eyes can start to dip slightly. Adding a tiny bit of length to your brow tails, following the natural line outward and slightly up, frames your eyes and gives everything a subtle, lifted appearance. It does not have to be dramatic. Just a few extra strokes can bring back balance and structure to your whole face. The best part about these tweaks is that you do not have to become a brow expert overnight. No complicated diagrams, no confusing trends to follow. Even just filling in slightly higher than your natural brow line, softening that arch, and feathering out the tail a little can refresh your entire look in a matter of minutes. It is all about small changes that fit into your everyday routine without adding stress or extra steps. Now that you know how to get the right color and the right shape working together in your favor, it is time to talk about the fun part. Because coming up next, I am sharing the absolute best brow products for grey-haired beauties. And yes, there are some amazing budget finds that beat out luxury brands by a mile. You will not want to miss this. By now, you might be thinking, all right, I know what color I need and how I should shape them, but what exactly should I be buying? Do not worry, I have you completely covered, because the right products can make all the difference between struggling every morning and getting the soft, beautiful brows you deserve in just a few easy steps. Here are some tried and true favorites that work especially well for grey hair. These are products that real women just like you swear by because they get the job done without any fuss. First up is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in shades like taupe or ash brown. This pencil is amazing because it has a superfine tip, which lets you mimic the look of real hair with tiny, precise strokes. It is creamy enough to glide on easily, but not so soft that it smudges all over the place. Plus, the price point is fantastic, especially for the quality you get. Next is a cult favorite that is worth the hype, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in taupe. It is a little more expensive, but if you want a product that gives you complete control over shaping and filling without ever looking too heavy, this is one to try. The formula is perfect for creating a natural look that blends right in with your silver strands. For those who want a little more texture and hold without the fuss of pencils, Glossier Boy Brow in blonde or brown is another excellent choice. It is basically like a little mascara wand for your brows. You just brush it through and it fluffs, shapes and lightly tints the hairs without ever feeling crunchy or stiff. It is especially good if you are aiming for that soft, full, effortless look. If you are watching your wallet, the LF Instant Lift Brow Pencil in taupe is a total gem. It is super affordable, easy to find at drugstores, and it performs just as well as products 3 times the price. It has a slightly thicker tip than NYX, which makes it great for quick mornings when you want to fill in and go. It is one of those little finds that makes you wonder why you ever spent more before. Another favorite, especially if you are dealing with thinning or sparse brows, is Gimme Brow by Benefit. This is a tiny tinted brow gel with little fibers in it that latch onto your natural hairs and make them look thicker instantly. It is a lifesaver when you want more volume but still want everything to look natural and soft. Now for a little bonus tip that not everyone talks about. If your brows are graying fast and you want something a little longer lasting than makeup, you might want to look into Just for Men beard dye. Yes, you heard that right. A lot of women use this beard dye on their brows because it is gentle, easy to control, and gives you a subtle tint that can last for weeks. It is especially helpful if you are tired of filling in every day and just want a little more baseline definition. One quick tip before you rush to buy. Always test your brow product shades on your hand before you fully commit. Even products labeled taupe or ash brown can vary a lot between brands. Some taupes lean more golden, while others lean cool and grey. A quick swipe on your hand in natural light can save you from ending up with a colour that clashes with your hair or skin tone. Now, I would love to know what brow colour or technique has worked best for you since embracing your grey. Share it in the comments because your experience could really help someone else who is just getting started. And if you enjoyed watching this video, you will definitely love this next one.